Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode, VTC Writers Room. Hello. Hi, Pooja. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Canon VTC Writers Room. We are so excited. We've got a double bill for you today. The first double bill, in fact. So we couldn't be more pleased. Hello, got more people joining. I'm just sending some waves out there for everyone that's joining. Thank you so much for being with us today. We've got a few little surprise giveaways as well today, so definitely got to stay tuned for that. All right, Saru's here with us. My partner in crime. Just waiting for her to join. Hi, Pooja.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Saru.
Hi, Sid.
Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me well?
I can hear you just fine. I hear you beautifully.
Good. I've known now to have my headset in because usually there's like feedback and everyone's like, get your headphones. So I know now to not do it without them.
Hello, Pooja. Today's the first day I don't have any headphones in. Today I'm going au naturel, so I'm risking it today. Let's see how it goes. Oh my God, this is so sad. If this is the most rebellious I can imagine to be in this moment.
You know what? We've got to be rebels where we can be rebels, man. I'm all down for that. I think we need more rebels, to be honest with you. We need more rebels in our industry, to create the change that we need to see. So this is what episode are we on right now? Like, I just can't even. This is episode 7.
Episode 7. We've got a few more to go before the season ends, and then we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and then there'll be some more awesomeness.
Wow.
Yes. But this is
incredible. 7. Like, what I love about this is that, what could seemingly be quite a sort of a simple idea, it's really had great impact, and I'm really loving the responses, especially of those that have won plays. They're like, oh my God, like I never knew about this play and it's magnificent, and and they're so excited just to share their experiences. That's been like, that just fills us up with joy, right, Saru? Just to be able to share the Beyond the Canon library and to be saying, look, this is why we're doing it. We're doing this so that students, next generation, our generation even, can engage with the work that exists in the Beyond the Canon library, and to know that there's work that exists which reflects who they are. It reflects their cultural backgrounds. It reflects historical moments of which we've played a huge significant part in. So it was really great to have Juliet Jilks Romero on before. If you missed that one, you need to go back and check out that one.
It's amazing. Oh my goodness, she was just dropping knowledge all over the place. It was insightful, and it was also just thought-provoking as well. It spoke to just what are we teaching people? How do we actually work hard towards decolonizing the curriculum so that people have access to this history that somehow just gets glossed over or lost or even just rubbed out. So it was truly remarkable. So please definitely check it out. It's on our Instagram, and it's a beautiful one.
And what we did as well is that we recorded the interview with Marge because we had an issue with like internet. So if you check out our YouTube channel, Beyond the Canon, please subscribe, everybody. We want to get as many subscribers as possible. Like, you'll be able to see the Mojasola Adebayo interview that we did, which was, for me, was just, again, another education. We're learning too, right? Even though, we might have read, a lot of these plays, there are new plays that they're mentioning, or plays that not new, there are plays that they're mentioning that I'm like, say what? What's that play? And I'm like writing it down, and I'm ordering plays, believe it or not, because I just want to make sure that my library just stays as up to date as it possibly can. And I encourage you all to do exactly the same. So Saru, tell people, like, you know, we have, so let's just be really clear for those who don't know. We have to say how grateful we are to Bloomsbury and to
Yes.
Playwrights Canada Press, and also to Oberon. So we've got play donations from each of those publishing houses, and that's how we're able to share the library. That's how we're able to share this rich legacy of plays that we have with those who are in education or have just been recently graduated, or those who, you know, who are on artistic training courses. But if you don't win, Saru, what can they do?
If you do not win, then you most definitely need to go to our website. You will find all the codes there, but generally speaking, BTC 2020, that's what you need to know. That is our discount code. That will give you an incredible discount of 30% off hard physical copies and 45% off ebook versions. Guys, this is an incredible offer. So, and I have made it easy for you on the website. If you click, it'll take you right to the website. Use it and kind of do that for all of our giveaways. But you know what, explore, go to their website, see what's there, really kind of see what you can buy, see what you can purchase, really kind of expand our knowledge, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to connect you with these writers. We're trying to tell you what they were thinking when they were writing their work, what motivates them, what moves them, what inspires them, and just what makes them the legends that are leaving us this incredible legacy. So definitely check their work out. Like, it moves lives, man, honestly. It's a
I'm so thrilled to have the two writers that we have today. So Yolanda Mercy is my girl. They're both my girls, actually. Yolanda is just they're both powerhouses. I keep saying on all of my like social media, I'm like, they're powerhouses that we have. Like these females, man, like I'm so proud to be a part of the female like race. Like I love the energy, the like tenacity, the just the fact that they are tackling like the issues that we I mean, you've only got to read any of their plays for you to be completely in awe of these writers. I mean, the lengths that they both go to tell untold stories and to present a cultural lens on what happens in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I think that I just really am so proud, and I'm in awe of both of the writers that we have today. So Yolanda Mercy, who is just such a force, and she is somebody who doesn't only write the experience, but she performs in them too, you know. So this is someone who, again, you know, when we think of Mojisola Adebayo, we think of Yolanda, right? These are these women that are not only putting pen to paper, but they are also taken to the stage, being in the spotlight and telling stories that matter to them. So like, definitely check out, our first one's going to be Yolanda, so I can see Yolanda's hair, so I'm like, yes, Yolanda. And then Hannah, oh my Lord, Hannah Khalil. Anyway, she is an exceptional writer, with so politically minded, so astute. She's able to capture some real worldly epic issues and theatricalize them. And so we're going to be sort of talking to her about what her process is, how she goes about doing that. But yeah, definitely like stay tuned for that. So what's going to happen is we're going to have the first just slightly less than an hour with Yolanda, and we're going to also hear from, and then we're going to be following that with Hannah. But they both are going to tell us what plays they wish they would have read before they entered the professional industry. So definitely make sure you've got your pen and paper ready to write those recommendations down. I'm going to be doing the same. So Saru, we missed anything else out before we bring Yolanda into the mix?
No, we've not missed anything out. Also, I will say though, just to say, guys, we do appreciate that you're tuning in to the show. It is a show. Sim determined this last week. We're just
Yes.
so happy that you guys are tuning in, and it's so great for you to be part of this and share with us this work and these incredible writers. However, we do also welcome financial assistance. So if you do have anything to spare, I mean, honestly, there's nothing too big. We're trying to push these plays and donate them and post them as far as possible. So if you do, we have a Just Giving link. It's on our website. Please, 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 any help is always appreciated.
Thank you, Suri. And it's also pinned below. So if you see
Yes.
the post that's pinned, if you want to make any donation to us, because we are doing this with no financial compensation. We're doing this out of the love of giving and also the love of educating our communities. So feel free to donate if you wish to, and hopefully you will. So Saru, I'm gonna have to say goodbye to you, my darling, but we're gonna bring you back in, and you can give
I'm
us a
never
little
gone for
recap
too
of what
long.
you've heard, and let's not wait. Let's bring in Yolanda. So
Okay, bye
excited!
everybody.
Bye, Saru. So excited to have Yolanda. For those who do not know Yolanda Mercy, she is a writer and performer. She is known for her amazing play called Quarter Life Crisis, which received like critical success. And then it was published by Oberon Books. So if you want to find it, you definitely have to check out Bloomsbury now owns Oberon, so you can just go onto the Bloomsbury website and get that book. But we will also be giving it away today, so definitely stay tuned for that. So without any further ado, let's bring in the girl, man. Let's bring in Yolanda. Hello, darling.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. I'm like trying to make sure I've got my angles right. Because you know, when it's too low, all you get is chin. When it's too high, all you get is forehead. And I'm blessed with the forehead. So I'm trying to make sure that the angles are appropriate.
You look lovely, my darling. You look lovely. Look, I've missed you, man. Like seeing your face, I'm like, oh,
It
haven't
has
seen you in
been,
such a long time.
it's so ridiculous going from seeing you practically all the time. Like I was leaving ends to come to Stratford to come and see you and to see everything
Right.
that you're doing. It's so amazing to be online with you right now. I know you're in a different time zone, right?
Yeah, I'm in Chicago, love. I'm in that shy town, doing that shy town life.
Yes. How's the
Hey,
weather?
how are you though? How's everything going with you? That's such a loaded question right now, isn't it? Like, how are you? But how are you? I'm gonna be sipping some tea while we talk.
Do you know what? I have got tea here also. I don't know what you're sipping. Mine is a matcha green.
Oh, you're into the. You know what? I can't get down with that. I'm gonna have to try it again. I'm gonna have to try it again.
It's so.
This is some chai. This is some chai up in
Oh,
there,
okay.
like,
I see you. I see you
hmm
with milk or without milk.
with milk, like a touch of milk,
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot.
just a
I
little
just
splash,
derailed
just a
the
little splash.
conversation, right, to talk about tea.
No, it's all good though. This is love. This is how we bond, Yolanda, you know. And I'm sure people will appreciate to know like what's in the cup. Like we're gonna be just sipping away, and they're like, but
Like,
what are
what
they
are you
really
sipping?
drinking? This helps with the whole creative process. If you don't know, you have to have the right tea to start your day. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
Listen, that's one of the best things about not only my friendship with Jade, but Jade also loves tea. So whenever
Yeah.
we go away and we do the shows, Jade would always have this box, and she's like, "Right, I've got tea. What do you want?" And I'm like, "Girl, you got all the teas. You got all the teas." Jade is a boss, a boss.
Right? And people that don't know Jade, so Jade Lewis is an amazing director, and you work really close with her. You've worked close with her, and is it like all of the shows that you've done, or yeah,
Basically, most of my things for theatre, we've worked together on, and now we're
yeah,
working on something from a different medium, which is really, really good. It's nice to have a friend, like, you know, when you're like, I have
yeah,
a friend who is a ride and die, who,
yeah,
when you're kind of like, hey, look, I don't understand this, or I don't know what I'm doing here, who do I talk to about this? Jade is that person.
yeah.
And then her as well, she's an amazing director, and she writes, and it's just such a great friendship we have, but also we get on so well artistically. We understand
Yeah.
each other's taste, and we push each other. I think that's the biggest thing. When you have a friend who's also a maker, you want to push each other. You want someone to say, oh, okay, what are you trying to say here, or what does this mean? So important to have that.
And that's what I love about the two of you. You found each other. I don't even know how that came about. Maybe we should talk to that, just in terms of how you build up your creative team. And it reminds me of, you know, when Debbie Tucker Green came out, she worked a lot with Sasha Wares, and you guys have the kind of a similar, it's that relationship where you get each other, you trust each other, and you have gone on such an epic journey with each other to realize plays, ideas, to even start to sort of really stretch the dialogue and stretch the narrative of your plays, but also to keep your authentic voice. You know, she really hasn't tried to change you, to try to make you sound different, or to try to make you sort of be a copycat artist when you're sort of looking at other works and other writers. But yeah, just talk to us about that, because that's a really good point. Like the fact that you and Jade, how did you meet? And like, how did you sort of establish this way of working? Or was it just really organic?
I have to say, I have to thank the Young Vic for this one. The Young Vic have this program. I don't know if they still have it. I think they still do. Correct me if you know. The director's program. And you have this sort of like, it's like 2 weeks, I think, where you learn about directing. And so our teachers were Lindsay Turner and Michael Longhurst. So you come the first time, it's like, I think a week or two, I can't remember. And I met Jade there. And I didn't want to be a director, but I was interested in knowing what a director does. That's why I was there. But I also wanted to know about text. And I know that I've always appreciated a director's craft, but I didn't know much about it. So then we met there, and I was like, hey, I'm going to write a play soon, and I'd love if you directed it. And she was like, sure, holler at me when you've written the play.
Yeah, have the play first, Yolanda.
It sounds shady, but it's not. It's just my tone. Jade isn't shady. I sound shady. That's just me, period. But she's not. Jade is really, really cool. But I was like,
she's lovely.
Cool. She's so lovely. And then the craziest thing is, as London goes, everybody knows everyone. So some of her closest friends went to the same school as me. We've even worked together. It's the craziest thing. So in a way, we should have met at least 5 or 6 years before that. But it just so happened that it was at the Young Vic on this project. And ever since then, we've just been friends and made work together.
So the play that you wrote, was that Quarter Life Crisis? Was that the play that you approached her to direct?
No, so it was a piece before that called On the Edge of Me, and it was sort of like my chance to have a go at playing with what my voice is and what I wanted to say, because I think with a lot of writers programs, you get taught a style of writing, and that's based on your tutor and then the people that come in. And I know we're going to talk about this a bit later, but I think it was really when I saw Random by Debbie Tucker Green, which is one of my plays, I'm going to talk about it a bit or mention or whatever. That really changed everything for me, because it was the first time I ever heard dialogue that sounded like what the people around me speak like. And I don't know where you saw it or if you saw it, but I saw it at the building in Elephant and Castle.
Oh, I saw it at the court. I saw it at Royal
Court. The court came first, right? Was it the court first and then it was
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
it was epic. It was epic. It was mind-blowing. And I just think that speaks to Debbie. And actually, now you've said that, I'm really happy that that's one of your plays, to be honest with you, because she has, like, you're so right. She has such a distinctive voice, you know, and it's unapologetic. It's not trying to be anything but what it is. And that's the same with you. It comes through with your writing too. So I'm happy that you kind of, I think some people can get really heavily influenced by what's deemed as like the classic canon. And that definitely shows up in their work and all of their work today. And actually they tend to stay in the lines of that. So to see how you mastermind and craft your plays, I'm happy that you mentioned Debbie, because I think Debbie is kind of badass with that too, in terms of like, this is my voice. and this is how I see it presented, not only in the written form, but also in terms of performance.
1000%. Like, so I've got the text here because I knew we were going to speak about it, but I remember just buying it at the I don't know what they called the building in Elephant and Castle, but it was the one that the Royal Court had hired.
Yeah.
And it was like their new sort of breakout space. And just like opening the text and seeing the way she laid out a page like that, for
Yeah.
me, I don't know, some people were like, okay, but for me, I really freaked out and I loved it because it just kind of played with how you can lay out a page and the lyricism of the voice. I didn't know this was possible. When you're at school, you're given a particular kind of play text and it's written in a way that everybody else has done before. As soon as you pick up this, you're like, okay, now we're talking. And I just it's even like,
yeah, it immediately sort of grabs you, doesn't it? Because you're like, oh, it's how I felt about For Colored Girls. To be honest with you, when I picked up For Colored Girls, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this now? What is this? You know, it definitely felt so refreshing, felt new. And I would say that, you know, and again, I don't know if this is your experience, but I'm not a writer. But when I wanted to express myself at a younger age, I would turn to poetry. So for me, it was like seeing For Colored Girls was like, this is my journal. It's all in like in poetry, right? That poetic language that we have that's innate in us, it's in our DNA. So can you speak to that? Can you relate?
I can 1000% relate, especially that particular piece, because I'm like, somebody almost walked up with all of my stuff.
Yes.
I'm like, not my poems or a dance I get up on the street, but somebody almost walked up with all of my stuff.
My stuff.
Oh,
that's right.
Like, hold on a second, what's she talking about? And you're like, whoa, that's what she said. Whoa.
Man.
Mind blown. I've never seen it on stage though. I've only seen the movie.
I know, don't watch the movie. I'm sorry.
Well, that was the only way I could access it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know about the story beforehand.
Yeah.
And you spoke about that in your previous episodes, but it's the text that we're given at school.
Yes.
So when you get to a point in your life where you're like, I want to know what else is out there, you've got to do the work yourself. You've got to go to those groups. As a writer, I'm in a writers group at the moment that I'm learning more about African literature, because we don't get taught that here, right?
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
constantly having to learn and pick up new texts and just dig deeper. So for me, when I saw it, I was like, I need to have that piece. And so I bought it. So I just bought the play. I loved it. Well, I don't know, would you say play or book? Play?
It's a play. I'd say play, but yeah, it's a play. But you know what? It's interesting because I think that with some of these plays, they're more than a play, right? Like I as I read, oh my God, there's so many. Like we had Judith Jukes Romero, as you know, on, and this is like history. This is a history class, in the form of theatre. Like we are learning about ourselves. We are learning about our history. We are learning about, you know, iconic figures that we have in our communities through these plays. Like it is such a rich form of education that it does feel, you know, even you go in, can I call it a play? Is it more like what language do we use when we try to describe what it is? But let's talk about you, Yolanda. You're trying to get into recommendations. You like my little skirt there? Like,
and I was like, wait, can I just talk about Debbie? I love her. You're like, wait, hold on a second. Let's go back to you.
Let's go back to you. So like, what inspires you to write? Like, and what has been a source of inspiration for your plays?
I think it's the world around me, the people I know, the stories that I hear. Like you were kind of saying, as a community, we're storytellers, you know. Whether you're the one just listening, whether you're the one telling the story yourself, whether you're the one that's chipping in and helping to tell the story, there's always a co-storyteller. Even if there shouldn't be, there's always somebody who wants to jump in and help you tell the story. And that for me excites me. And like what you said not so long ago, when I was younger, I wrote poetry. I didn't know I was writing poetry. I just wrote things down. And my mum told me, she's like, you know, you used to write poetry. And I was like, really? I used to write poetry? So when I first came into the industry, it was through performance and through picking up different bits of text. I loved it, but I felt like I didn't always see myself in those texts, or even myself on stage. I don't know if you remember this, but in the UK, well, I think it was across the whole of the UK, there was this thing called A Night Less Ordinary. Do you remember that?
No, a night
Oh,
less ordinary. What's that?
so it was a scheme where people who were under the age of 25 could go to the
Right.
theatre for free.
Okay.
So I was going to the theatre
Hmm.
at least 3 or 4 times a week. I was traveling from my house to off ends, like I was going far because I wanted to.
Off ends.
It's true. You're like, my travel car doesn't go this far. Okay, cool. I hope the barriers are open. Like,
I ain't hating on that. I ain't hating on that. For theatre, let's do it. You know?
like, everybody's had the point where you don't have money. You're like, I either buy lunch or I can go to the theatre. So I was like, I'm going to skip the food and just go to the theatre and see shows. It's the truth, and because the show was free and you could bring a friend, so I went with my friend and we would see everything. So I think I was really spoiled because I didn't just see theatre, I was seeing dance, I was going to visual arts exhibitions, I was seeing so much things, but
That's
I didn't
amazing.
but I didn't get to see myself a lot of the time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's where I was like, what does this mean? So then I somehow, everyone who knows me knows this about me. When I get curious about something, I become obsessed. So I want to know how I can find these things. So I ended up finding a poetry group at Stratford East. And it was amazing, right? It was the first time where I'm hearing writers who are like, I write poetry and spoken word, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and they're just sitting there with their books writing things down, or they're ciphering. I can't cipher. I'm like, nah, I can't do that.
There's an art to that. There's a complete art to that.
Like Kat Francois was one of the best teachers I've ever had because
Kat is incredible, and the work she did for it was Stratford East, I have to say, what were they called? What was the group called? Young Poets? No, what were they
yeah,
called?
the Stratford East Poets.
The Stratford East Poets, right?
But maybe she
Okay,
changed
so
it.
that
I don't
wasn't
know
that
if there
hard.
was no, but maybe there was another name that she
I
like
thought they
changed it
had a
to.
name. Yeah, I thought they had a name, but when they perform with like their whole body. Like it is just like, yeah, they bring it. They're
That's Kat's
incredible.
training though, because
Yeah.
being with Kat, right, I learned so much about being a writer, but also about being a performer. It's
Mm.
great you know your words, but how do you convey that message, right? How do you convey that message through your text and through the way that you break up the rhythm or whatever it is? And you learn that. Like I went to an acting class, and the acting classes that I went to, do you know Weekend Art Centre?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I went there, and that was great because I learned about performance.
Yeah.
So to be
Yeah.
able to
I'm happy. So I've got to stop you because I'm happy that you're mentioning WAC, and I'm really happy that you're mentioning Cat as well, because these two, I don't think they get enough. They don't get in enough like praise for all of the work they've done, and the people that have come through sort of their teachings. It's really is amazing. And WAC, I hope they're doing well, and I hope that they're able to survive this pandemic, because the work that they do is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of my favorite things. Yeah, exactly. Work was great. It was one of my favorite things on a Sunday. You would go there, you pay your like £2, £3 to learn, and that's where I first learned about August Wilson. But we'll get back to that in a bit.
Can you stop doing this, Yolanda? You're just messing up the whole structure for the show, man.
Sorry. But it was great because it was just a chance to be around people
I
who
love
were
you, girl.
hungry. And you're
Yeah.
like, I know that sounds like, what do you mean? Like, people are hungry to make art, to be a part of this industry. And that just
Yeah.
helped me so much. So yeah, long and short of it all, those are the kind of places that I went to then sort of learn about text, learn about my voice. And then I started to write poems and then into plays, because I was like, I don't think I'm a poet. I'm definitely a playwright.
And then, can you talk a little bit to, actually, someone's asked what ciphering is. Do you want to
Well, basically you get
battle?
it was in a circle, right?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
someone will basically, like the best example I can think of is when rappers get in the middle and they start
Yeah.
spitting bars, but
Yeah.
it's poetry, and you're just like, how did you just come up with those lyrics and that poetry just on the top of your head? I don't know if they've pre-rehearsed or they have loads in their head, but it was just basically that, a poetry circle.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's freestyling, it's raw, and it's competitive, but it's competing with somebody through words, right? So whether it's rap, whether it's poetry, that's what it is. It's a little battle. So in terms of, so I'll just see if there's any more questions because people are on here, man. I'm loving, keep the questions coming, by the way. If you have any questions that you want Yolanda to answer, or if you want to just agree with what she's saying, give us a little emoji, feel free. So let's talk about the fact that you're a writer performer. So you, like Modge, have not only written the play, but also performing it. And like, how did that decision come about? Was it the fact that you, before writing, you had the intention of writing a role that you wanted to play? Or was it the fact that the story was so personal to you that you couldn't imagine anybody else performing it? Or something else?
Good question. I think it was a combination of things. I think similar to what I was saying earlier of like being an actor who pick up a text and not always see myself in that text, and stories of the people or the world that I know of in text. So I just thought I want to write something, and I didn't think I was a writer. I just thought I have a passion for a story and we'll just see how that goes. So a very long time I just be like, I'm an actor who's kind of written this thing, and I kind of winged it, I feel like. But that was also where, for anyone who's joined in late, is where someone like Jade came in perfectly. So Jade Lewis is a director, and Jade knows text. She loves text, and I love text too, but I didn't think I was a writer at that point. I was just a fan of words. And I just thought, how do I make this thing? So together we made this thing. I made the text and I happened to perform in it, and she would direct it and help to dramaturg that. And then I guess Quarter Life Crisis was the first time where I was kind of like, oh, I think I'm a writer. What does that mean now? And so I went out and I learned more. For me, and a lot of writers who I really respect say this, you read so much, like you were saying earlier. I started to build up my library and I started to read more, read more, see where I could. This is where I loved that theatre was free back then, because I could see shows, right? I could go and see a show for free, or I used to usher, so then I could see the show for free, which was perfect. Or friends who were ushers other places, so I could go to their theatres. So I saw a lot, and so that helped me with writing Quarter Life Crisis, and I just started to play, and I knew what I wanted to make. I knew I wanted it to feel like a party. I wanted it to feel upbeat. I know I wanted it to feel, at that point I'd been seeing a lot of concerts, so I wanted it to feel quite big, even though it was in a small space. I'd always said I want it to be in an intimate space, because then you can talk to an audience, you can make it quite interactive. If it's too much of a big space, I wasn't sure how I could do that. So yeah, that was that. And then I guess now I definitely would say that I am a writer. I feel more like a writer. I don't know what that
Does
means.
that mean
I don't know. I got my writer's glasses. I feel really like
but that's a big thing. It's a big thing for you to start to, go from going, oh, I'm gonna try my hand at something, to saying, no, I'm a writer. Actually, I remember doing a course at the Royal Court Theatre when they did this course called what was it called? Critical Mass. And they said, from the moment you pick your pen on the paper and start to write a play, you're a playwright. You know what I mean? So, but I think that you're right, just in terms of you embodying it and actually accepting the fact that you are a writer. That's a process sometimes. It's a process to, to really associate yourself with a title in any profession, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think that Quarter Life Crisis for me was just so brilliantly written, but it just felt just so authentic. And I keep using this word with you because I just love your voice. And for those who haven't seen it perform live, you know, it really does feel like Yolanda's just talking to you, like you're just in her bedroom, or you're, you know what I mean? It really has that level of intimacy about it. So that's really great. So does that mean that you will continue to perform in the plays that you write, or are you feeling that now that you kind of dip in and out of performing in your own work? What does that mean to you to take on this role of like going, I'm a playwright?
Well, what does it mean to me? It means now that there's a bigger responsibility on me to know my
Okay.
craft. And so I went from writing a one-person play to then writing a play which I did for National Youth Theatre, which was a cast of 21. Right? And so you go,
As you do,
like,
Yolanda. This is why I love you. It's like I've done one. I've done a cast of one. What's 20? What's 21?
So it goes from that, and I wasn't in that. And then another thing that I'm working on, this is a cast of 8 that I'm also not in. And then when I had BBW, which was on Channel 4, I'm not in that.
Yes.
And that was, so that was like my first thing where I was like, oh wow, I'm actually a writer, and people are asking me questions about the scripts like I know stuff. It feels so wild sometimes when they go, wow, this isn't a thing that when I was growing up I was told I could be, right?
Yeah.
Not that my family didn't tell me that. My family were like, you can be whoever you want to be, right? And we support you. But school never told me, right? The text that they would give us never told me. So picking up scripts or picking up plays that we had to learn in English lit, I never thought that could be me. I never thought that I could be a writer, because I just never saw people who looked like me writing plays or names like mine or associated to a published play, you know. And I think that's kind of where I think things slightly changed when I became published. And that's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't understand. I remember calling you. I was in Edinburgh when it happened, because Oberon came to see, like the whole Oberon, but some of the Oberon team, who I always have so much love for, came to see the show at Underbelly. And they basically were like, hey, how would you feel about being published? And I was like what? I get to have my name on a piece of text that people can pick up wherever they are in the world. That's crazy.
Yes.
Exciting. But I didn't know what that meant. And I remember speaking to you, and you were overseas at the time. And this is why I'm so grateful to have people like you in my life. And you just talk through these things with me and help me understand it. And then I felt like, oh wow, I think I'm a writer, because according to this contract, I'm a writer. So I suppose I am now.
You know what? I was so pleased. I was so pleased because, you know, I'm a real advocate for writers, especially like yourself, getting published. And so when you said it, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Yes, do it, do it, do it. What does the contract say? What does the contract say? Look for this, this, and this, you know. But, you know, I was honored for you to even contact me, really, because it's an honor to be able to be entrusted with that. Obviously nothing was out at that time. It was definitely a conversation that you were just having with Oberon at very early stages, and so yeah, it was a real honor to get the call and to be able to offer the advice, you know, any advice. And obviously, you know, at that time it was great because I'd already done the monologue books, right? So I already had experience with Oberon and had experience, I think, with Bloomsbury as well at the time. So that was, yeah, it was great. There's a question here. I just need to get my charger because I'm that type of a girl today. I apologize. Give me 1 second. So, Reg, could you pass my charger? But there's a question here. So this is from Pooja. Hi, Yolanda. What would you, as a playwright, like to see change in the sector as we come out of this pandemic? Thank you, Reg.
So many things, so many things. I think the biggest thing is transparency, right? Let's start being more transparent. I didn't know that in terms of getting work on in places, there are different ways of getting work on. I wish that conversation was a lot broader. I also didn't know the whole process of being published. Luckily enough, I had someone like you who I could turn to and who picked up the phone, because that's the biggest thing in that, you picked up the phone. Because some people could be like, And you're like, wait, hello? Hello? You picked up, right? I wish we had more transparency around that. I also wish and I hope for this thing that we call risk. I hate that word. I hate it. I hate it. I
Me
hate it.
too.
Let's take that away. Let's start investing in these artists. If I'm good enough to be part of your young person scheme, I'm good enough to be commissioned and properly put my money behind me, properly say, hey, look, what is it you want to make? Okay, let me put you with a dramaturg. Like, so someone like Jules Howarth, who works at Soho Theatre, from day dot, when I had On the Edge of Me, right, she always, and it wasn't just part of her role, it was also outside of her role, she was always like, hi Yolanda, let's have a chat, how are you going, can I read your stuff, let me give you some feedback. She was always there for me. She's always there right now. Years later, she's that person that I will say, hey Jules, I've got this piece and I'm not sure if it's any good, do you mind having a read of it? And she's like, oh my gosh, of course. I feel honored, like you were saying, I feel honored. And I'm like, yo, I feel honored that you are listening to me. I think that's what I really, really, really want more of. Yeah, I think enough of this sort of like scheme thing. Let's get people on these stages, in front of and also behind. Like, let's start teaching people about being a playwright, being a producer, being a director. I think it's fine. It's amazing to have talent on stage, but some of the behind the scenes stuff, right? Let's not neglect that at all.
Definitely, definitely. Oh my gosh, people are agreeing with you.
Yeah. But my other thing I just
So
want to say, also,
yeah,
this is something I was talking to someone about the other day. I also think age is a big thing. I really want us to stop being this fixation over you're young, you're vital, there's something important about you. You're important at any age. Let's get some more voices out there, right? I
exactly.
really need that. I need it because for me, I hear so many amazing writers who had made a play however many years ago, and only now we're like, oh my gosh, that's so great, and we're trying to bring them back. Hold on a second. Why are we not championing more voices? Why?
Yeah.
Why? You know? Yeah, that's it.
This is why I love you so much, Yolanda. Just yes to all of that. Yes, yes, yes. Now, I wish we had some more time with you, so we're going to have to get in. I've got so many questions that I had, but to be fair, I felt like the conversation we had was just so free flowing, and I absolutely loved it. Before we jump into, actually, I think, let me see if I've got time to answer this question because many people might not know, but quarter life crisis toured to Nigeria. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? Because that's huge. How did that come about? How was it received in Nigeria? And yeah, and what lessons were learned? Like, what was the takeaways from that experience?
Oh, so much. Well, one of the biggest things for me is I want to do more work out there. There's so much I need to learn about playwrights from there, and there's so much that
Yeah.
I get to go back and do there. So it was such an amazing experience for that. It came about once again because of Edinburgh, and I understand Edinburgh isn't for everyone, but I wanted to demystify Edinburgh real quick. There are amazing schemes that can help you, regardless of your age or anything like that, that anyone can apply for. And the scheme that I went on was through Underbelly, and they paid for my venue, they paid for my poster, they paid for the marketing. So that kind of cost helped me out significantly. So I didn't come out with this debt that everyone comes out with in Edinburgh.
Yes.
Because I know people who say a year on, they're still paying back their debt.
Yeah, huge debt. They've taken that like credit card loan, like ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody saw it there and was like, once again, that sort of email that I got from Oberon. Hey, how would you feel about coming to Nigeria? This is August, right? In November. Wait, what? Like, I was like, what? Like November? Like this soon?
Wow.
Yeah. I saw Quarter Life Crisis. I thought it was really great. My friend's got a festival out there. We think you'd be amazing for it. And it was one of the most amazing things I've ever done. And that was the first time it was part of Ake Book Festival. It was just wonderful to see so many different writers out there. And then again, it happened. There's Lagos Theatre Festival, and that happened in March. So within that space of what?
Wow.
Less than a year, I'd been to Nigeria twice, more than I had, I guess, in my lifetime. so far. So I was like, yes. And it was received so well. You know what I love about Nigeria, we're like, and Nigerian, we're very vocal people. If Nigerians are feeling something, they're gonna be like, yes, and they're talking to you on the stage, and you're like, wait, what? Luckily enough, my show is the kind of show where you can interact.
Yeah.
But I just loved that energy. Also, I just loved the whole aspect of, so I remember for Quarter Life Crisis, we created a playlist before the show, and we had certain artists beforehand. People were enjoying it so much that we had to push the show a little bit because they were like just dancing, people getting out of their seats, having a vibe. Yes.
Wow. I wish I saw that performance, man. I went to Soho. They weren't doing that.
Huh?
I said I went to the performance in Soho. I said they were engaged, but they definitely didn't have that vibe.
You know how we are in the UK. We're very much like, if I'm liking it,
Right.
it's very internal. No, people were getting out of their seats. They were giving me busting it low, low, low. They were like, oh yeah, like we were playing like too many man, too many people, like too many man, too many man. Listen, we took it there, right? We took some of like, we're sharing, right? Because obviously Skepta is from Nigeria, so we put these things on purpose in the playlist. So for them, they were like, it's so great to hear the experience of our cousins in the diaspora.
Yes.
And that was one of the things that I just felt, I don't know, I feel emotional when I think about it. I was honoured. I was so honoured that they accepted it, and that they understood what I was trying to say, and they felt seen, you know.
Yeah.
And I made some amazing friends from there. It was just one of the best things ever. I just want to go back and do it all over again.
Yeah, you got to let us know if there's like a play that's going to be done in Nigeria. Let us know, man. We have to try and find a way that we can kind of get out there for it, because I don't want to miss that.
Everybody, we get on that flight together.
Yes.
Lagos, we go to the festival, and it's just amazing to see work there as well. To see the theatre shows that are being made by local artists.
Yes, that's right. It's important. It's important. So we're gonna have to move on. I've literally got like a few, because I've just been so enjoying. It's got like we could talk for hours, Yolanda. You know this. But let's talk about. Oh my God, I had so many questions about. Oh, we'll have to bring you back on again. Let's do that. Let's try and see if we can bring you back on again. Because I really wanted to, and maybe we should do one in terms of like those who have written for the stage and transitioning into writing for TV. I feel like we probably should do something on that at a later date. Saru's going to hate me. She's going to be like, right, Sim, we've just really got loads of episodes there. We have to squeeze that in because no one really talks about that. So let's try and do one in terms of like how that works. And as a writer, you know, what things do you have to, that you can keep as a writer for the stage, but also what are the things you have to let go of and then adapt to for writing for TV. But let's move on to your recommendations. So we're asking everybody sort of 3 plays that they wish they would have read before they entered into the professional industry. What are the 3 plays that you've selected?
Well, I feel like a Blue Peter presenter right now. So here's one I have.
Do it.
This is August Wilson. It's Fences. I don't know why I've changed my voice. What is this voice?
I know.
Hi everyone. So this is Fences by August Wilson. I first came into contact with this book during WAC. Jay Walker, who was our teacher at the time. First of all, we looked at Jitney, and then we went with this one. It's just such a beautiful piece. I was so fortunate enough, as part of that time at WAC, I got to play Rose, and that for me, just the writing of, I mean, it was part of his lessons, right? So it was like you got to go away, learn your monologue and all that kind of stuff and perform it. I worked on my accent as well. I got my Rose on. I just
got my Rose on.
Rose on, right?
That's right.
Such a good book.
And if you don't know Fences by August Wilson, there is a film version which is good, which is brilliant. Okay.
Do you know what? Can I just say? So I watched it in New York, and I made my mum come and watch it with me. And when I tell you, because one thing, you live in America, so you know, right? what I love about Americans, they will talk at the screen. They're talking
Yeah.
about what's going on, and it just felt
Yeah.
like a vibe. I was like, I feel so honored to be here and to watch it with everybody in this room. Oh, the performances, it was amazing.
Epic.
Okay,
Epic.
moving on.
So Fences by August Wilson. Classic. Just classic.
Yeah,
All right.
playlist.
Next is
Random by Debbie Tucker Green. Debbie Tucker Green. Like, there's so many plays by Debbie Tucker Green you could mention.
yeah.
But this was, I'd say, one of my first interaction with theatre. Like I was saying earlier on, I saw it at the Royal Court Space, Elephant and Castle. It was the first time I ever really saw a voice on stage that sounded like me or my friends. It's just a beautiful piece. It also got turned into a TV show on Channel 4. So it might still be up on Channel 4. So if you can't catch it here, you can catch the Channel 4 one. This one, Racing in the Sun, by Lorraine Hansberry. I feel like everyone says this, right? This is this. It's just a really beautifully written, important piece. I first came. Do you know the craziest thing is? I first learned about this on a TV writers program I was on, and this is one of the texts. I know, right? This is one of the texts that they were like, everyone should read and we should talk about. So yeah, those are my 3.
And that's obviously a film as well. And for people that don't know, it's like this, because people are like, oh my God, I didn't know that Fences was a play. Yes, it was a play that was adapted to the screen, right? So it was a play first and foremost. Same way with Raising in the Sun, but it's great because they, I think it's fantastic that we are having stage plays adapted for the screen. I think it definitely makes the work a lot more accessible, but I always encourage people to go and read the play or see the play live because it's just incredible. Incredible. So Yolanda, we are giving away your play today. We're giving away your play, girl. We're giving away your play. Does it still feel emotional when you see this? Like when you actually see?
Yeah, I mean, what I did was one of the shows.
I love your expression, by the way. Is this how you feel?
It's like, because I took the poster from one of the venues we were in, and it's actually on my wall in my sort of office. So I see myself every day in that poster, but it's also really joyful to remember I made this happen. Again, I'm gonna play here.
That's right. That's right, girl.
It's kind of weird.
So we're going to be
This is me.
So do you want to just say a little bit about this specific play so that the winner could just have a little heads up?
Yeah, so Quarter Life Crisis was a piece that I kind of wrote when I was questioning what it means to be an adult, essentially. At that point, my rail card was running out. That's not a thing anymore. It's now been extended to 30. I like to believe that was because of me. They saw my show and they changed the rules because of me. It was very coincidental that my play came out and then the rules changed, because I was like, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And it not only talks about that, but it talks about the pressures of when you are second generation or first generation, expectations from your family who had achieved all of these things by the time they were your age. And you're kind of like, what do I do now? I can't pay for full price travel, and that was a big thing for me. And the play text is really special to me because I'll show you here. Over on 26 to 30 exactly. Over on
people are stuck on the rail card. Like
you understand, the rail card makes a difference. I'm upset because like obviously this lockdown situation we've had has affected my use of travel, and I got that rail card and I'm like, yo, I want to utilize it anyway. So Overon were really lovely, and they helped me in terms of like laying out the page, so it's got emojis and stuff in it. I think it captures the personality of the piece that was on stage, and also I guess my personality as well. So yeah, that's it.
So this is probably given away, and actually this is our surprise giveaway as well. So we're giving away Quarter Life Crisis, which people already knew, and that's why they tuned in. But we're also giving away this one as well.
Yes.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
So this is
7 Methods of Killing Kylie Jenner. So do you want to talk a little bit to that, because you saw it live?
How much did I say without giving it away? I think it's a really important and vital conversation. I don't know how much I can say without giving it away. How much can you say? Because I feel like if you say too much, it gives
You
it
know
away.
what? They just have to read it, right? They just have to
Yeah,
just say it's a great play, which it is a
it's a
great play.
it's a great plan. I've also heard the play text is also really fun as well. It's
Yeah,
by Oberon, so it's got really like fun things inside. So
yeah,
it's not just an experience that you would have missed out if you didn't see it on stage. You get the same
yeah.
experience you did
It's
on the
kind of
page.
similar to, this is what I love about you guys. You're just pushing narrative and even pushing form in a way that how it's even presented in the playtext. Like, this is amazing. All right, so these are the two that we're giving away. I've got literally like 3 minutes to give away these plays before I have to bring in Hannah for her interview. But Yolanda, you know I've got much love for you, girl.
Likewise, thank you to you and everyone who you work with. I appreciate you all. Excited to see
Thank you
Hannah.
so much. You're right. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Much love to you and
You
stay
too.
safe. All
Bye.
right. Take care, darling. Bye, honey. Bye. Okay, so we literally got like 2 minutes before we have to jump off of line and then jump back on again. So if you want to win this bundle, so it is Quarter Life Crisis and the 7 Methods of Killing Kylie Jenner. Definitely request, give me a sign, an emoji. We really want to ensure that these plays go to students or those in or sort of recent graduates, or anyone on our artistic training course. It could be a playwriting course, it could be a director's course, etc. Could you give me a thumbs up if you want to win this bundle? Literally, I have to do this in like 2 minutes. So just make sure that you do it now so that I can give these two amazing plays away to somebody. I'm hoping that I can do this before I get locked off of Instagram. So what happens is with Instagram, I literally get an hour and then I have to kind of not sign out, I have to start another video. Okay. So Laurie's putting her hat in the ring. Is there anybody else before I choose somebody? We've got loads of emojis here. So Laurie's got like fist emojis and everything. Yes, Laurie. Okay, so I can't tell whether people are just giving me emojis because they want to win the play or they just give me like heart emojis. Quirk Cat, who's that? Is that a student? Can you tell me if you're a student? Quirk Cat, you've got like 10 seconds to let me know if you want to win the play. Let me know. Just waiting. It's going to give you literally like 10 seconds. Quirk Cat. That's the name that you're. Okay, cool. All right, then. Let's go. No? Okay, cool. Oh, you already got it? Okay, cool. Someone else should. Okay, fantastic. All righty then. Okay, we're going to give this play away. Give these plays away.
Oh my god.
Hey, Laurie.
This is good. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this. How are you?
So you're going to get these two play texts. I love the fact that people being so polite. They're like, no, let somebody else win. I'm just like, look, if you want to win, you just put your name in the ring and that's it. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh
Right?
gosh.
People are just being too polite, I think.
Sorry if my internet cuts off because I'm having trouble with internet. But yes.
Anyway, well done, my darling. So these two plays
Yay.
will ensure that they will get to you. So thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in again. So we're going to go live in literally like a few minutes with Hannah Khalil. So make sure you just stay on the line and check out that interview. And also we're going to be giving away her play as well. So you might have another chance of winning another set of plays. Who knows? Okay, cool. Do not be polite. If anyone's online who has won, it doesn't matter if you've won before. Do not. Everyone's like, I'm gonna just give other people a chance. You know what I mean? So definitely put your name in the ring. So there you go. So you got these two plays that are on the way to you, Laurie.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You.
I've
I'm
got
so
20
happy.
seconds, so I'm going to
All
have
right.
to go. But thank you so much. Tune back in.
All right.